That was pretty good. I'm gonna make this quick because, oh my god, it is humid. Like, you would not believe how humid it is, and I have to turn the fans off and everything to record this. So yeah, boom, straight to the point. The very last of the Hawkwind, you know what? We've now hit the Levitation album. That is where Joe Banks leaves off with this wonderful book. You do realize that I have to review this book because Strange Attractor Press, love them to death, and they keep on exceeding. And I'm already looking forward to their book on Boogie Down Productions. So yeah, Joe Banks, thank you so much, everybody involved with Strange Attractor Press. Love you forever for this because it's so good. And I wanted to tie those brilliant lyrics that are within Who Will Win the War and kind of bring it straight back into like the way the Kelp Bed is. So yeah, that was it. And I wanted to make it a good one, because this book has been so amazing. And yeah, I've already rambled too much. Love you all. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye. So right off the bat, what you're gonna notice here is this week I didn't show the lettering because the lettering is pretty constant throughout there. 3 panels are simply the lyrics from Who Would Win the War, and I wanted to play around with the font a little bit to distinguish the song lyric and the menacing nature of, Calvert's lyrics there, which are pretty genius. Unlike last week with Live 79, I didn't have to search for this. Like, the minute I saw those lyrics, it was right there. And then that idea of returning to the usual sentiment of the Kelp Bed. So, pretty much wrote itself. But yeah, if you haven't seen previous videos, lettering is always done by Tachikawa Type C, which are flat nibs. You can get those at JetPens. JetPens also has a great PDF to download, which will show you the different nibs that they have on offer, which is a great resource. And for lettering, I usually use the 2mm for bold text and the 1mm for just normal text. But yeah, I cut out the lettering part because this video is already pushing 10 minutes without the intro and the outro, and I know your time is precious. I mean, if you have the patience to sit through this, God bless you, but yeah, that's why I did it. So if you haven't watched it before and you're really curious about the lettering, which there's much better people on YouTube to talk about lettering, but yeah, you can check my earlier videos, they're included in those. And I realized previous to this, I said I didn't do a lot of rendering on the backgrounds and more focused on the characters, but I'm always trying something new. That's basically the way it goes, so I wanted to try something new, especially since we're coming out of the Hawkwind. We'll call it the Hawkwind saga. Simple. Tell me of the Hawkwind saga. I'll take that as a decline. And the music on this was Kai released the 2.11 firmware update for the MPC-1, which has some great stuff to it. So I made the basic beat and then hooked up the Arturia key step so I could play kind of the Dusty Roads. But I also ran the signal out of that and into rings. And instead of running it straight into clouds, which is the typical ambient thing, put it through the 4MS delay and
on one side of that, I had a very slight reverse delay and then crossed over to the second side of the 4MS, and that is a traditional delay, and then ran that into the morphogene. So just experimenting around. And I've talked about this on previous videos. When I'm doing trees and that type of thing, like, I will thumbnail these and put rough shapes in there, and then the rest of it is just, once the ink hits the paper, just improvising it, seeing where it goes, which is why I pull back on the nib, because that way, or the nib holder, sorry. But if you pull back on it, it allows the nib to kind of do a little bit of what it wants, and accidents will take you into great spaces, so anything that'll encourage accidents is pretty good. And now the music on this part is once again hooking the Arturia up, but this time went directly into the welts per octave on rings, but also at the same time had Pamela's workout, giving a regular BPM match that went into Renee. And Renee, I think this is an F minor. So Renee was programmed to an F minor scale, and then, screwed around with Wogglebug and Turing Machine to try to introduce once again more randomness, and the Morphogene pulling heavy duty on this patch. I kind of got very lifted and was feeling kind of Riley that day. I could draw trees all day long. Drawing trees from imagination is one of life's great pleasures. And the usual color palette, The one thing that I did utilize in this was I went for the Schmincke super granulating colors, because I knew, due to the nature of the song lyrics, I wanted a little darker hue to some of the colors, so I mixed it in with the regular workday colors that I usually use. And I love using the Schmincke's, but you're really trusting in the fact that they are going to lighten as they dry. Because if you hit them hard enough for the granulation to really take effect, it looks like just a solid wash. And as it dries, that's when those various gradations come out. So painting with the Schmincke's, at least for me, is an act of faith. And you can see what I mean there. It looks incredibly dark going down, but if you look at the finished one, you can see where it dried out. And since it's so humid in New York right now, welcome to summer, I let them dry overnight, because it really does. That's when you really see it start to lighten up. this track that's playing now, this is completely, let's get blunted, see what the new effects and the 2.11 firmware update for Akai, how to abuse them. I had a studio engineer, Wes, plays in ballads, has a great studio in Tacoma. We were recording there one day, and he and I both agreed, why put effects on anything unless you're gonna put effects on there. Just kind of, let's use subtle effects. Nah, if you're gonna use effects, go for it. And of course I realized as I'm watching this footage, I intended to put another, like a mid-ground of trees and then a far background of mountains in that one panel, and yeah, totally forgot it. Told you I was a bear of limited intelligence. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Oh well, probably for the better. Maybe it breaks up the rhythm or something. I don't know. And I think we're coming to the end, so if you watch this entire thing, bless your heart, I mean that. And Ivan, if you're listening to this, I owe you a letter. I'm working on that. I meant to say that in the intro, screwed it up. Life has just been crazy. And talk to you later. Thank you so much, guys. Guys, have a blessed weekend.